you want to talk about, bro. Look, the fact that we're doing this,
Welcome, welcome, followers, to the Jayson Intervention Podcast. I am I am replacing Jayson as the host. We're just going to talk about the Game Seven, one of the greatest Game Sevens I've seen in a long time.
that was fine.
We saw we saw two of the dumbest head coaches ever in NBA history.
Yep.
bro, bro, I swear to God, like, bro, let's talk. All right, let's try to break it down. So, what were some of your biggest concerns, like, in this entire game?
It's not even concerns. It's just hatred. Steve Nash, I love you as a player. Even then, you don't deserve your two MVP. And now it was more so. Listen, man. Claxton needed minutes. They needed a big body. Why you got Blake Griffin playing Giannis for 48 minutes of the game? That's number one. Number two, do my eyes deceive me? But where's Jeff Green? Where are you?
Dog. I was in the third quarter. I was like, bro, like, where the heck did Jeff Green go? Like, what happened?
Bro, he was non-existent. But you know what? He was also injury riddled. Whatever. You got Drew Holiday with 5 fouls. Abuse that man. Abuse him. You got Brook Lopez shooting. What is it, like 3 for 3 from deep? Like this why is Claxton not in the game? And why is Shamit playing 2 minutes? I understand my hatred towards Shamit is immense. But
Bro, yo, at this point, dog, my question is, would you put, in hindsight, would you take out Joe Harris and replace him with Shamit? Like, in hindsight?
for the last few minutes of the game,
Yeah.
as bad as Joe Harris was, he still gave some production off the ball defensively, and that's saying something. The fact that he was probably your third best defensive player tonight is really not a good sign. Um, but no, man, it was just the ball was so stagnant. It was Game 6 all over again. Just
Yeah.
Kevin Durant had to show up this game.
Yeah.
Like it was so bad. The ball movement was there for like 4 minutes at a time, but then it just stopped. Like it was the KD show, and it's like, bro, that's not what we were doing. Harden couldn't buy a basket. Man's only got to the line. He had a good shot towards the end there, but bro, how is it you scored 2 points in the overtime period, bro?
Bro, his hamstring is basically, bro, like, fall off the bone ribs right now. He's trying his best. He had the bank shot. Like, bro, he had a bank shot, bro. That's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for. But yeah, the ball movement, like, bro, I don't know what I don't understand what KD was thinking on that last possession in overtime, bro. Like, why didn't he just push the ball and try to draw a foul? Like, I mean, it was a fast break possession. He had the Bucks were. I feel like he could have pressed the issue there, but instead he takes a fadeaway jumper over Drew Holiday. I was like, dog, come on, man. See, that's how you end a classic Game 7. And then to know, when you look at the replays and see that KD was a shoe size away from winning the game, bro.
I'm looking at the play and I'm like, what is he even thinking? Like, I get it, he's tired, he's fatigued, but all we need is 7 good seconds from you. Like, we don't even need that much. Like, all we need is 7 seconds.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe he took that. KD was 0 for 5. There was no other offensive production. And man, you guys had the game. And overtime, like, even though you guys took, like, what, you were up by like 2 points, you had control of the game, but it's just one possession.
It was.
Oh my God, I can't believe we have to see the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals.
The Bucks scored twice in the last 2 minutes. Brooklyn scored once in the first 5 minutes. Like right when the overtime started, they scored. Then they didn't score.
And they never scored again. Oh my God. Middleton hits a respect to Middleton though. I mean, I can't explain it because Middleton was a bum the entire game, but at least he showed up when you needed him to show up. I feel like this is a stepping stone game for Chris Middleton. He had an incredible game in Game 6, and he hit good shots.
It won't mean crap in the conference finals, whoever they go against. I guarantee you, Middleton is going to score like 0 points in the first 2 games. Man is bum.
Yeah, fact, exactly.
And Drew Holiday was trash. Literally the first 3 quarters and a half. Not even 3 quarters and 3 quarters, basically, because the last 3 minutes of the game is when he actually scored bucket, and then in overtime.
The Bucks ownership, like, we're watching the game and they were asking each other if
What
When
more?
did you get Eric Bledsoe back? Like Drew Holiday became Eric Bledsoe first two,
No.
and then with the last 2 minutes of the game, he just became Kobe. Like like that has to be so frustrating. Dog, I couldn't imagine like being in your position in Game 7. I was nervous as heck. I couldn't imagine you, bro, like just watching this.
You should,
Oh,
yo, my cousin. I said my cousin's here, right? And he's watching me, bro. Literally throughout the entire game, I'm just like, nah, we're gonna lose. Like I'm just being like, whatever. And then we go
what
into
you
time. I'm like, nah, we're winning this. I go to my room. I get my Kyrie jersey on. I give my cousin one of my old jerseys. I put my Nets hat on. I get my foam finger. I get my foam finger, and I'm looking at it, and then I see PJ Tucker get fouled out. I'm like, this, like you deserved it. You deserve.
and then PJ Tucker gets. First of all, was PJ Tucker just out there to get fouled out? Like you can tell from the beginning of the game, like his goal was just to foul out.
Well, his goal was just to hurt Durant, and even then, Durant got his, but man, Tucker Tucker played great defense on us. And look, I can't be too mad at Milwaukee. Only thing is that we have to watch them in the conference finals. It's just a sucks.
I know it's really horrible that we have to watch this. I mean, I guess Milwaukee is exciting at times. That's why we need Atlanta to really pull this off, so we can get at least somewhat of an exciting series.
Yeah,
So
because
who do you think's gonna win the championship now? Like out of all the four
I'm
teams,
going I'm going for my second favorite team, not of all time, but just in the you know like they had one of my favorite players in Goran Dragic. I'm going for Phoenix. I want them to win. I'm going for Chris Paul. Um, I don't think people understand how much I used to love Phoenix, like the trio of Bledsoe, Dragic, and Isaiah. Like, those are my guys. So I'm going with Phoenix to win it all. But if I have to be real, like real, it's the Bucks championship to lose. If the Bucks don't win it this year, then this season is a wash, and they're really gonna have to reevaluate again the entire roster construction that they have. Now, granted, they do have DiVincenzo who's been out, who was very integral to the team, but no, they
I don't really see DiVincenzo adding like a major difference to this team.
you don't think so? I think he did. I think defensively he was. I mean, already the team is already great defensively, but with him there and then him spot up shooting, it was just he was just a perfect fit, a perfect shooting guard for Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. But it's again, if Giannis is truly what he is, what he says he is, he cannot lose. You got the Clippers who are injured, Chris Paul who's kind of technically out for who knows how long with COVID, and then on the East side of things, Philly doesn't look the same. They only really have Joel Embiid right now, and then in Atlanta, it's a young Trey Young. You know what I mean? So if the Bucks don't win this season, they'll never win ever.
No, yeah, exactly. This is the most important year for Giannis. But I'm so scared though because if the Bucks win, they're gonna assume that everything is fine in Milwaukee and just disregard everything that they've had to go through to like
Right.
literally everything had to go absolutely right for the Bucks just to win this series. I think the Suns are gonna win the championship this year, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, hopefully, I mean, we got to see if Chris Paul. Hopefully that situation. Hopefully he comes back game 2. I think they'll steal a game. They'll steal a game in
Yeah. Look, I
Phoenix.
mean, like at the end of the day, I want Phoenix. At the same time, there's a very, very small part of me that also kind of wants Milwaukee to win, and only for Brook Lopez. Um, Brook Lopez is my guy. He's the leading scorer in franchise history for the
The
Brooklyn Nets.
Nets, the Nets, the
So
Nets leading franchise scorer has CTE. Dog, bro, the last. Let's talk about that last play, bro. That last play they called for.
1.9, yeah. I think he did that on purpose, to be honest. I think he
What was
wanted.
that? Like, he's like, all right, this is a classic game 7. We gotta let it go to overtime.
You guy's an idiot, but
That's
no,
what. And Mike Budenholzer is like, all right, guys, so let's go for a Giannis fadeaway 3 while he's falling out of bounds, fadeaway jumper, and let's see how this goes. Like, I think I know what it is. During the season, Mike Budenholzer and Brook Lopez were driving to the stadium and like they bumped heads aggressively, and then the CTE just formed between them, and then that's why we have this Bucks team today.
it's so like Coach Bud and Steve Nash. Did you hear the inside tracks when it was Steve Nash talking to the team and Coach Bud? I was like, these guys are literally saying what I say whenever I play basketball to my teammates, and I'm talking street ball. Like, it is terrible, terrible coaching. I love Steve Nash. I don't really mess with Coach Bud, but I don't know. The Nets have a lot of questions, and the question is, we need big men. And I don't care how good friends Kyrie and KD are with DeAndre. He's got to go because
DeAndre Ayton is just a subcontracted cheerleader at this point.
he's
He got no minutes, and I think if DeAndre Jordan was in the game, he probably would have done something. Like,
he would have made a slight difference. I think rebounding, of course, and I don't know because even then he can't grab a ball.
well, because there's something about Game Sevens that brings out the best of players. Like, look at Blake Griffin, bro. Blake Griffin had a great game.
Blake Griffin had a great game. Bruce Brown really showed up. It was like the Terrence Mann game yesterday. It was
Yeah.
Bruce Brown did a great job.
Man, that's like, dog. Remember in overtime when Bruce Brown had those like the Nets had those like 4 consecutive rebounds?
All of them were from Bruce Brown.
If somebody told you then that the Nets would have lost this game, I would have slapped them. There's no way that you lose that game. And then the Knicks couldn't find shot after shot. Katie missed so many bunny layups at the end, man. But man, it's so sad that Katie had one of the most generational games you'll ever see in your life, and he lost. Oh my god, bro! Bucks didn't deserve to win this game. They played horrible. Like they
They
didn't.
didn't win the series at all. It shouldn't have gone 7 in the first place. I mean, Kyrie got hurt. But at the same time, look, KD played great, but there's still going to be a little asterisk on it. It's like if it was LeBron could have done it. You know what I mean? Like LeBron
Yeah.
could be in this Milwaukee Bucks team if it was the other way around. Especially even with the hobble James Harden. The
It's
Nets
just so mind-boggling, bro. You had 13 seconds to go. 13 seconds to go, down by 2, and you take a fadeaway 2. It wasn't even a 3, bro. It was a fadeaway 2 on Drew Holiday. I mean, I guess that's where fatigue comes in. Like,
it
oh
does.
my
But at the same time,
god.
like, you had other options too. Like if you
Oh,
saw
no,
him
it
play,
actually didn't have any options because
no,
everybody was like spread out to the left
yeah,
and
no,
just let Katie do his thing.
I'm saying him. Like he had like he could have dribbled because there was nobody guarding him on the other side. Like it was just one on one with Drew Holiday. You telling me you can't take him? Just 13 seconds of your time, KD. You can't
Like, at least draw the foul. You're in the bonus. Like, at least draw a foul, do something.
on Drew Holiday. That's 6 on him. Like
He bailed him out. Katie bailed him out, and I'm disappointed that they lost because of that. Okay, if Katie takes a good shot and misses, all right, like live with the results.
can't
But
do anything with that. But that was a bad shot. It was a
man, that was
shot.
like I don't even know if you can blame fatigue really on that shot. That was just a mental lapse.
It's what you live for, man. You get paid for these moments. And
Man, dog.
Steve
Oh,
Nash sold. Harden was injured. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna give the Nets a pass. Honestly, like I don't want to be that Nets fan. I can't give them a pass.
I know Harden's injured, bro, but you still should have won the game. You still should have won.
If you're really as great as you say you are, KD, I think you should have won this game.
Nah, okay. It's like it's so funny. It's so hard to judge Katie in this game because Katie had one of the greatest games you'll ever see in basketball. Like, but then he just makes one of the most bonehead decisions at the end of the game. Oh, Steve Nash not playing Claxton. Oh my god, man. Jeff Green had no minutes.
Yeah,
Barely
when
to.
he was on the floor, he just wasn't. He just wasn't the same. He was injured throughout the series too. There's a lot of reasons that you could be like, okay, you know what? Of course the Nets lost. I mean, they probably couldn't because of all these injuries. But at the same time, bro, we should have won this game. And
Yeah.
it is what it is. I mean, obviously today I'm a little more sad than I will be tomorrow. I don't know. I'm still like, yo, I bit my nails, bro. Like I was like they were full on, but like I was like so nervous, drinking hella water, ate like 8 slices of pizza. Like bro, I was so invested in this game.
I couldn't imagine. But man, okay. I guess since it's over now, we can reminisce a little bit. What were you thinking when Katie hit that shot, bro?
Oh my
Like,
god. Bro,
oh,
I like my mom was in the other room. She already told me to lower the volume. Bro, he made that shot. And I was like, bang! She's like, Jayson, shut up. I'm like, no. Like, yo, KD just yo, that's it. It's over.
bro,
And then I see his foot was on the line. I'm like, oh my god, we gotta go to overtime. All right, whatever. We'll lock it
I
up.
was happy. I was happy. I was like, oh, we get 7 more minutes of this, dog. When Katie hit that shot, bro, I was screaming, grabbing people, dog, Katie. Bro, you know how much I love LeBron? I was ready to remove LeBron from the totem pole. I put KD. KD was
Out,
the best player in
out,
the league,
bro.
and then he became a bum again.
I was like, man, KD, like he's that dude, bro. Like he is the greatest Brooklyn Net or New Jersey Net to ever play in a Nets uniform.
Yeah,
No one is better than him. Like I love Jason Kidd. Dr. J was ABA, so that doesn't really count to me. But
yeah,
Kevin Durant, he's that dude, bro. But
yeah.
I mean, he did make a terrible decision at the end there. But I mean, now looking at it, we the front office has a lot of decisions to make. We need a big man,
Just really.
a big
And
man.
you also need a reliable point guard off the bench, bro. That's serious, especially if the injuries you guys have.
I think Dinwiddie. There shouldn't be a reason for him to want to leave, but if he does, I mean, there's always other veteran point guards in the market out there
What
that
is I don't know. Like I can't get a good grasp on what how Dinwiddie is as a player, because if he wants the role, if he wants like the Jordan Clarkson, almost not like obviously different players, the Jordan Clarkson type role, as in like the leader of the second unit, he has that there. You get to live in New York, where they take 70% of your income, but I mean you get to live in Soho, I guess,
yeah.
and you get to be the best player in front of all the women in New York as a bench player, star player. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he wants that role, he can get the role. But or does he want to be a star somewhere else? Like, I mean, he has his options. He has his options.
But can he be a star after this ACL injury? I think he. I don't think he can be an all star.
But he's done it before. He's done it before. That's what he
I
does.
know, but my thing is that I think he thinks that he's an all star, and I don't see him like that. I see him as an above average starter or an above average like backup point. Like he can be a starter on a solid team, but he won't really like. He'd be better suited to come off the bench for a team that's trying to win now, and I think that's us. I think that's the Nets. Now, if he wants to run his own offense and do so and get his bag, by all means, Spencer Dinwiddie, you're free to go, and I won't be mad at you because you
Especially if the injury, especially his ACL switch keys right now.
also, I
Just
mean,
get,
he deserves it. After all the work that he's put in, he deserves
like
a big pay.
if you think about the injury, bro, like he had a devastating injury, put in all that work to make himself a above decent NBA player. Honestly, if you're looking at a situation, take the money, bro. Like you never know what's gonna happen
And,
tomorrow.
and if he doesn't, if he stays with us and he just like rehabs with us, kind of like the Boogie and Golden State type thing, I mean, why not? I don't mind having Dinwiddie off our
Because he would have been ready for the finals if you guys made it.
definitely, yeah. I mean, he probably wouldn't have played, but yeah, he would have been ready. Like so, I don't know. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered, but the number one thing is getting a big man to play defense.
No,
Like,
no, 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 no. The number one thing is how you're gonna send Joe Harris to work at a plantation. That's the number one thing,
so,
bro. No, let's talk about Joe Harris, bro. Yo, son, nah, bro, nah. You can't play this bad. I've never seen a player like. Can you think of a player that's had a stretch like this bad, like just shooting?
you know what? I mentioned it before. He had a great like off-ball defense. Like his off-ball defense was really solid. Like if you,
Yeah, it
if
wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
it was really for not being known as a defensive player. Like he did solid. So I still think he's very important to our team. Um, it sucks that the three most important games were his worst games, right? And especially losing Kyrie and injured James Harden. Like you had to be that guy because you're the leading 3-point percentage guy throughout in the regular season, and you can do it in the playoffs because you've done it in the playoffs. So why couldn't you do it against Milwaukee? It's not like they were guarding you. Honestly, like it was really bad. But I
It was. I
I'm
mean, it
excited.
was like
I
it
can't.
was really a direct impact of James Harden injury because obviously he's handling the ball a lot more, and that's not where he gets his looks from three.
Yeah.
So I mean, bro, but I mean, come on, bro. If you're a competent shooter, you got to adjust on the fly, bro. The playoffs is not the regular season, man.
And then
Like,
when he got the ball, like he only made what he was like 2 for 7 from like you can't be doing it.
and
Like
all would have been fine. All would have been fine if he just made that three with what was it, 111, 111. If he
the
just made that wide open three.
up. We were ready to erupt, Johnny. You don't understand. I was, bro. I was jumping out of my chair, like, oh my! I was pushing my cousin around. I probably like bruised him, bro, for like punching him so hard in the arm for like being so excited. Like, it, I don't know, man. But
Joe Harris is a glorified PE teacher, bro.
He is he's he's too important to our team though. So I can't be too mad at him, but I do think that he was definitely one of the biggest reasons why we lost that game. So Joe Harris, better luck next.
How does Joe Harris like live? How does Joe Harris just like live? Like
He's
wait,
he's like
like bro, like
like
the women at Whole Foods are not gonna look at him the same, bro. Like, what are you doing here, bro? You work on your game.
for real.
Come on, stop. He
Uh,
can't go to the clubs anymore,
yeah, no, it's
bro. He like the section at the club is not gonna be open for him anymore. Like, oh my god, bro. I
man,
never want to see Joe Harris play basketball again.
it was really bad. It was really bad. But you know what? It's that shooters thing, and it happens to shooters all the time. So it is what it is. I hope we don't trade him. I really hope we trade DeAndre. I really hope we get a big. I really hope Steve Nash learns from his mistakes.
Yeah, he's a rookie coach. He's a rookie coach, and I'll give him this. I'll give him this. For what he's had to go through with all the injuries, it's only gonna make him a better coach.
Well, hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You say so that experience and also the new mental illness treatment that was the mental illness treatment that's going to be progressing as the years go by, that's going to help him with his brain cancer, and then from then on Steve Nash is going to be one of the best coaches in the NBA. Those two big things, experience and then brain cancer treatment.
I think I I think that once D'Antoni is like leaves, because I do think he's gonna get a head coaching gig this upcoming
Oh yeah,
season.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Once he leaves, I think now Steve Nash can be like, okay, now I have to make the tough decision. Because if you noticed, it was like Udoka and D'Antoni making really big decisions for them. So it's like now Steve Nash, like you've seen what your team can do. The Nets got to re-sign Jeff Green. We got to go out and try to go after Tony Snell, PJ Tucker, and definitely get a big man, like
Yes, just need a big
a
man.
real defensive big man. So stupid. And
Can you even afford a big man? What can you guys get right now? Like maybe a JaVale McGee.
better yeah, I would go for JaVale though. I think JaVale would be nice, like a solid big man. JaVale. Who else is the big man that's in the market? I wouldn't mind going for an Aaron Baines. I mean, he's kind of trash now, but like he's a big body,
Yeah.
something better.
And also huge. I mean, I think a backup point guard is so.
Yeah,
I mean, because
Dinwiddie.
your team is so fragile.
Yeah,
Your team is so fragile, bro. You need like reinforcements, reliable reinforcements.
I like Mike James, and I think Mike James is a good player.
Nah, Mike James going back to Europe, bro.
But I don't think he's gonna. He's that guy to play off of that. That's why I'm hoping on Dinwiddie. If not Dinwiddie, we do have to do a podcast or a video on free agency soon. Like,
Yeah, we'll do that soon.
so
We'll have Mike James. We'll have Mike James on the podcast. He's not going to get any work anytime soon.
yo, Mike James, pull up, bro.
Yo, Mike James, sponsor our podcast. Be our first guest.
Please. But yeah, man. Overall, though, as a Nets fan, just a weird season. We traded for James Harden. A lot of high expectations, but obviously injuries are a part of the game. But that's no excuse for who was supposed to be the best player in these playoffs, which is Kevin Durant. And even though he played a great game, you've been in the league long enough.
Just the mental lapse at the end. You can't fault him. He played
Yeah,
an amazing game.
yeah. At the end of the day, he played a great game. So I can't be too mad at him. I can't be too mad at the Nets.
No.
Um, better luck next year. And if we don't win next year, man, then there's gonna be a problem.
Then it becomes like a Clippers thing where it's like, oh man, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and another injury or two can happen. So I guess to close it out, as the Nets and Lakers are officially booking their tickets to Cancun. Lakers, we need a third scorer, more shooters around the bench, and LeBron's gonna be hungry. AD is gonna be hungry. We fired our head trainer. We're so sorry you had to be she had to be put in blame, even though it was we had like the least amount of time at anyone in NBA history. I'm sorry, I got to take the blame for that. But yeah, we'll be hungry. The Nets will be hungry. So what are some things you got to address next season, and negatives and positives? I guess negatives for us, no shooting, but we can change everything in one off season. And please remove the Instagram influencer Kyle Kuzma away from our team.
Gotta go.
Never I
if
never want to see him play basketball again.
if the Nets trade for Kyle Kuzma, because I can see a trade for like Dinwiddie for Kuzma, dude. Please don't.
Dog, didn't we for Kuzma? Who would
I'm
if
like,
you agree to that, bro? If you
please,
do that, bro, I will kiss Sean Marks's feet. I will fly to New York and just kiss his feet, bro.
New Zealand. Yeah, no. I
All
hope
right, so what negatives and positives, and what are you looking forward for next season?
uh,
Because to be honest, bro, since my team lost, I can say that this was a bubble fraud season.
I think a negative. The negatives I'm going to start off with first for Brooklyn. Negatives is DeAndre Jordan is obviously looking like a terrible signing. Uh,
Subcontracted cheerleader.
it's really bad. Another negative I can see is just injuries, man. Injuries really affect every team, and they've affected us possibly the most out of most teams around the league, besides the Lakers. So that sucks. I mean, our big three only played what 8 games together. It just wasn't right in the regular season, of course. Um, because honestly, when those guys were healthy against Boston and against Milwaukee to an extent, we were winning games. Like it was fun to see us win. But injury sucks, so that's another negative I can see. So we just need reinforcements, um, a little more defensive versatility when it comes to our bench unit. And that those are my negatives that I'm taking out. Coaching definitely. And then positives again, injuries. That's all it's been for the Nets season so
And
far.
then
Yeah, and um, you know, players stepped up. Bruce Brown really stepped up. He should be our number one priority in re-signing this offseason because he is a restricted free agent. So we need to go after him.
yeah.
And the development of Nicholas Claxton has been astounding. So I really hope that next season.
I said this at the beginning of the year, bro, by the way, if you don't
Yeah,
remember.
I remember. And I said this, I was agreeing with you. I was like, he's going to be a great backup big one day for Jared Allen. And then, of course, the Jared Allen trade for Harden happened. But now Claxton, I think he has earned the right to be the starting center this upcoming season, unless they bring in somebody new, whoever it is, if they're better than Claxton. But
Yeah, that'd be a nice little training camp battle.
I think Claxton is definitely deserving of that spot. And just KD, like I said, he's already the greatest net of all time. Now if he wins that championship for us, because we've never won a championship, the Nets have never won a championship. So if he does that for us, I mean, hands down, it's the biggest feat for anybody. So and there's a lot of things that we built for this team, right? We traded away a lot of our future for this team. So I'm excited to see what next season has for us. I trust in Sean Marks. I trust in that front office. I trust in our coaching staff. Honestly, as much as I'm really so pissed off at Steve Nash right now, he's still a great basketball mind. So
Yes.
I'm excited to see whatever happens next season, and hopefully the Lakers and Nets meet. So you can fly out here to Brooklyn. We watch first 2 games out here in Brooklyn, then we have fly out to LA together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tell Mama Melina I said hi. I'll be coming soon. All right. So end it off. You'll be joining me in my sweet Cancun. Until then, you can enjoy the playoffs stress free, which actually I have been enjoying, bro. Like watching the playoffs without having a heart attack every 10 minutes of your life and not refreshing Twitter. It's not bad.
We're both going for the same team. I'm assuming Phoenix, right?
Yeah, Phoenix, exactly.
All right, so Phoenix, don't let us down, please.
Facts, and also there's the WNBA. Something I forgot this WNBA. Oh yeah, Skylar Diggins. Please support our pod.
What's the other one? The girl that got into that fight, was it Skylar Diggins?
Oh yeah, man, you know that hezzy move that she did, bro. That was crazy. On that Twitter, bro.
Shout out to WNBA sponsored.
This is a Skylar Diggins fan club podcast. And so yeah, we'll enjoy the playoffs, and then after that, free agency happens. I think next season is going to be one of the best seasons ever, just because you got the top dogs are going to be so hungry, and then you also have the lower to mid teams trying to make the next jump. There's going to be so many moves made. I can't wait. But until then, send Joe Harris to a plantation. Steve Nash can get a head start on his brain cancer treatments, and we'll see you guys later. All right, thanks, guys.
Love you.